I want to talk about your signature.
Sure.
Congratulations, by the way, on that.
Thank
That's
you
a
very
big
much.
deal, and Collings is just a killer company.
They're amazing. They're so cool. Do you want me to plug it in?
Oh, yeah.
I'd be happy
No,
to.
we can talk about this thing all day. But
You should just hear it.
We should just hear it.
Just hear it. This was a guitar that, started with a relationship that I feel very fortunate to have had with Bill Collings.
Yeah.
And we made an acoustic guitar together, signature model, an OM style guitar. And what's so hip about Bill and the whole team, Aaron, Clint, Mark, Steve, everybody at the Collings company, they sincerely want to see progress in the development of their instruments. And I came in as a little bit of a thorn in their side because I said, well, I like guitars that are not the quintessential perfect thing, but they have something kind of eccentric about them. And to try to quantify what that thing is, what makes something a little off-kilter but lovable, it's speculation. It's pure speculation. Right. But we found it, at least in my opinion, with the acoustic. With the electric, it was a similar conversation. And it largely centered around the pickup before anything else. We said two rules. It's got to be centered around a pickup that has a personality that's worth putting this time into, because the pickup is such a big part of the sound.
Sure.
It can't be an afterthought.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is for the guitar as an electric to function as a resonant acoustic, instrument, which is what they do so well. They dial this stuff. And I don't know. I'm just deeply grateful to them. And this is the guitar that came out of that.
So it's a hollow body? Is that?
It's partially hollow. There's some business in the middle, some wood in there, and I don't want to lead anyone astray by describing it incorrectly, but it's a very deliberate thing. It's not just a block.
Yeah.
We tried that. It didn't work. It didn't work. The Bigsby was added, frankly, for weight.
Oh, really?
Without it, it's I think it's 5 pounds. With it, it's about 6.
Wow.
And that gets you right to this place where the fundamental is still there, and you have this kind of brilliant overtone thing.
Yeah.
I also don't touch that, much like the bridge pickup. I don't.
Really?
At home I do. I'll
just
wiggle
in
it.
case, maybe someday while in Europe.
That's it. Exactly. I'll go. Well, and it's these are the Ellisonic pickups, and they're higher output. I want to say these are in the 10K range, and they drive the front end of a deluxe, which is what I typically use, or a deluxe style amp. They drive it in such a way that I just feel like I really don't need pedals. I already don't really use them, but I do like when air is pushed a little harder.
Sure.
And this guitar does that, but because it's semi-hollow, it backs off right before it's slamming your ear.
Yeah.
Just everything gets a little diffuse. There's a little less decay. It's a great guitar.
Well, let's hear this
cool.
thing. Let's do the taste test.
It's a cool. It's so.
God, that's great.
It does these other things too.
Wow.
Not a cool guitar.
That's great, man.
I think it's more, honestly, I think it's more of a rock machine than anything. I happen to play what I play on it, but in hearing I've heard different people play it, in very non-jazz contexts, and I always think, God, that's a cool guitar. It's just dead and old, but it's just beautiful and comfortable. So once again, the whole Collings family just knocked it out of the park. They're I really cherish those guys.
Do you know what woods they use? Is it a?
I know it's mahogany, and I would say this is some sort of maple, right? But I don't know much more than that. It's this floating bridge here. We've got the nylon saddles.
It's not tacked down? Your bridge isn't?
This one might be. I've had several of these as kind of prototypes over the years.
I
think the one you would buy
would have
target. Yeah. You know how it is with that.
Yeah.
But the one you would buy would would work. I can guarantee you. I'm pretty
You
sure
heard
it's
it here,
tacked down.
folks. The one you buy will work.
It will work.
That's great.
That's that guitar.
That's great. And now, okay, so you're running flat wounds on this as well?
This is also flat wounds.
What gauge?
This is 11 to 49.
Yeah.
Pretty much a standard flat wound set that D'Addario makes. On the Telecaster, I have a unwound 20 as the G string,
Okay.
which is thicker than it would normally come with, but for whatever reason, it's more appropriate to the long scale of the Tele, whereas this is a shorter scale guitar. But yeah, there's something kind of felty about this guitar in general. So even with round wounds, we've made several recordings at this point with this guitar, and before I switched to flat wounds, and the shimmer of the round wound is kind of offset by the darkness and the feltiness of the hollow. So it always sounds the same.
Yeah.
I just kind of like the feel of flat wounds.
Sure.